Hey guys, it's Reggie coming to you from the NYC. Wanted to jump on here and share a few thoughts with you real quickly. The title of this particular live is called Don't Let the Dysfunctional become the norm in your life. So you're saying, Reggie, what do you mean? First, before I begin, let me thank all my YouTube video followers. This started off as a YouTube video. Now we're on live, so I want you guys that are following me on YouTube to just indulge me when people come on that I acknowledge them, okay? But don't let the dysfunctional become the norm in your life. Reggie, what do you mean? So many things that we're exposed to on a regular basis is a part of helping us to become dysfunctional. So you're saying, Reggie, dysfunctional? I get up every morning, I go to work every day, I take care of my kids, I do what I'm supposed to do. So what do you mean by that I'm dysfunctional? Well, we're all dysfunctional in some way or another because we're exposed to dysfunctionality. It starts from what we're exposed to very early in life. We're put in an educational system that teaches us to remember and be able to regurgitate different and certain information as it relates to a subject. But we're not taught how to actually interact and work with one another. We're each sat in a classroom, but we're sat at individual desks, and we're taught to learn individually instead of collectively. We're not taught to engage with one another. When we respond to a question and we don't have the right answer, instead of showing us or teaching us that you didn't get it wrong, you just learned a new way not to do a certain thing, we're penalized. How are we penalized? We're penalized by getting a lesser grade instead of being encouraged to seek the answer. This is the beginning of our dysfunctionality. This is how we learn to be isolated and not to work together. And that's not God's plan. God created us to work together, to help each other to move forward through life. Moving forward through life. Moving on as we grow older. You wake up in the morning. We are exposed to news programs. We're exposed to social media. We're exposed to all these different elements, music, movies, you name it. These things contribute to us being dysfunctional. You say, how is that possible? It influences our thought processes. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to understand, I want you to know something. The time that we spend watching TV and movies and listening to music, which are all good things if you are handling it in a way where you're measuring it. If you're spending 7, 8 hours a day or more watching television, watching movies, sitting on the sideline and cheering, "Hi, Deborah Shirley Pegues, nice to see you, thank you for joining." If you're sitting on the sideline and you're sitting on your couch and you can sit and you can tell me everything about Empire, what Cookie and what they're doing, or loving hip hop, or I love sports. If you could tell me everything about what's going on in somebody else's life, but if I ask you what's going on with yours, your response is nothing. That contributes to being dysfunctional. And I want you to understand, there's a system that's in place that wants to keep people dysfunctional. It wants you not to think. It wants you not to focus. It wants you not to do better in life because it needs you to feed the machine. What's the machine? It needs you to stay a slave to a paycheck instead of understanding what God has really designed you to do, which is He designed you for greatness. He designed you to create wealth and to leave an inheritance for your children's children's children. And this doesn't just apply to men, it applies to women too, because there's a lot of women today who are heads of households. But you need to be able to leave your children more than something than a bill. You need to leave them more of an inheritance other than teaching them to go to a job to enhance somebody else's life. Now, let's understand something. We all need an income. That's absolutely true. You cannot live in this life without creating an income. We all need an income. But here's the question I have for you. Do you necessarily need a job? If you research the Bible, if you understand who you are in God, if you understand that we come from an existence and a creation to be creators, that's why we call our Father the Creator. If we're God's children and He's a creator, what makes you think that you're not? I'll tell you. The dysfunctionality that we operate in, that we call this society. We spend more time trying to figure out what's going on empire than we do spending time on our own personal business, and you are a personal business. What do I mean? If you get up every day, you go to work, you have children to take care of, you pay your bills, you do things that is required of us to be functional in this society, that's a business. But the dysfunctionality that we're exposed to doesn't want you to understand that that's a business. It doesn't want you to understand that you're meant for greatness. It doesn't want you to understand that you deserve to have your seat at the table. It wants to keep you dysfunctional. We talk about our children today. And I'm very particular, very, very particular about what goes into my child's brain. I'm very particular about what I allow and what I don't allow her to watch. I'm very particular about how much she's exposed to television. Because, ladies and gentlemen, to you, to me, to each and every one of us, they spend millions of dollars to try to control our brain. Case in point, have you ever noticed, if you watch television, why is it they begin to start showing Christmas movies in the middle of the summer? To control your brain. They want you thinking about spending your money for Christmas, and they plant the seed in the summer. When I grew up, Thanksgiving was a very important time as we entered into the holidays. It was a very important time for family to come together. We broke bread, we ate, we enjoyed one another. You know what people do now? They may have a Thanksgiving dinner, but they actually are more concerned about the sales that they're going to get on Black Friday. And if you notice, they start Thanksgiving Eve. What is that doing? It creates dysfunctionality. It creates a system that further breaks down the integrity of the family. So now you're more concerned about trying to get a $200 TV than you are spending time with your family. I was exposed to that. If you're getting what I'm saying, please, give me some thumbs, some likes, let me know that you're hearing this. But I was exposed to, and I was in a relationship, I won't mention any names, but I watched this woman and her sisters and her daughter and all of them plot and plan. I mean, I'm talking about strategy. I'm talking about they had who was going to what stores, what time the stores opened. They had to get there at a certain time so they could be online. They had maps. They went, and the store gives you maps about where to go and how to. This is dysfunctionality, people. This is being dysfunctional. The news, the news that you watch. Why do you think they got 24-hour a day news channels? They want to keep you dysfunctional. Hey, Ana Marie Sanchez, thank you for joining us. They want to keep you dysfunctional. You say, Reggie, how do they keep you dysfunctional? They keep people dysfunctional by being afraid. They make you afraid by showing you disastrous, horrific things over and over and over again. If you don't think that this is not having an impact on your mind, if you don't think this doesn't have an impact on how you feel, if you don't think that this is having an impact on how you relate to people, if you don't think that it's not having an impact on how you go through the course of your day, that's exactly what they want you to think, that it's not having an impact on you. There are so many things around us that are creating us to be dysfunctional. Internet, social media, extremely important. But if you have a child and you have given them a phone or a tablet and you're not monitoring what they're doing and what they're being exposed to, don't be surprised at the results you're getting with their behavior in most cases. Because everything, the majority of the content that these young children are exposed to creates dysfunctionality. It creates a mindset of not respecting authority, not paying attention to the rules, not doing what they should do. It creates isolation. It creates that they're focused on that box. And there are people that spend millions and millions of dollars to create that atmosphere. When you listen to some of this music that these children they're trying to expose these people to, that's not an accident. It's to create a disruptive force and make our children dysfunctional, not just for now, but so they're not productive in the future. There's so much that I could go into about the recidivism of prison and the different mechanisms that start from the third grade. There are systems that start in the third grade to try to impact our children in such a way to feed the prison system, because it's a almost $1 trillion industry. So ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to be dysfunctional, but you do have to be responsible. You got to be responsible for self first. And the reason why I say for self first is this. If anybody who's under the sound of my voice watching this video now, watching the rebroadcast, if you've ever flown on a plane and they're giving you the flight instructions, what do? The first thing they tell you to do is to buckle your seatbelt. Second thing that they tell you, in case of an emergency, if the oxygen mask deploys, they tell you and give you specific instructions. Hey, Squeak, how you doing? Good to see you, man. They give you specific instructions on that flight that if the oxygen mask deploys, for you to first put the mask on yourself, then begin to help anybody else that you can help. Why is that? Because if you're not straight, if you're not functioning, if you're dysfunctional, you can't help anybody else. This is the same thing that goes on in our lives. I'm so grateful that God has placed me in a situation where my circle of influence, the people that I hang out with, the people that I communicate with, the people that I get to bounce ideas off of, we're all part of a group called the Virtual Millionaires Club. And our mentor, Myron Golden, helps us to understand these principles. Now, if you're going through life, everybody needs a mentor. All these different people that you may be watching in sports, television, entertainment, books, whatever it is, actors, trust me, successful people have mentors. And they pay money for it. They pay great amounts of money to have mentors and have mentorship. That's wisdom. Now, you don't have to, you can get mentorship in your church. You could get mentorship by finding somebody who is doing something that you want to do, but has already gone through the steps and the processes that you can benefit from. I have a lot of different mentors in a lot of different areas in my life. I have a spiritual mentor. I have a money mentor. I have different mentors for different aspects of my life. I have mentors that I can ask questions and they pour into me. We all need that. So in the Virtual Millionaires Club, don't be misled by the title. Because are there millionaires in this group, in this exclusive group? Yes. Are there people that are making 5 figures a month, 5 figures a week, 5 figures a day in this group? Yes. Am I one of them? Yes. But my point is this. The reason for the group is the benefit that I receive and that we all receive from being a part of this group. The Virtual Millionaires Club gives us all the foundational information, whether you have a business or not. It gives us the foundational information to help us improve our lives, the lives of our families, and the life of our finances. The Bible says that we're to leave an inheritance to our children's children's children, which means we're obligated to create something now that when we're gone, relatives in our family are going to benefit from it years and years and years after we're gone. So, again, don't let dysfunction become the norm in your life. Recognize the symptoms. Do your best not to watch as much TV. Do the best to control the information that goes into your ears and what goes into your eyes. You can control it. You have the power to remedy it. And understand, you cannot help anybody unless you're helping yourself first. Another point of being dysfunctional. The world wants you to believe that if you focus on yourself that you're being selfish. That's one of the biggest lies there is. The truth of the matter is, if you're sick, how can you help other sick people? So you have to be well. You have to be mentally able, physically able, financially able to help others. If you're not in that position, you can get there. It's not too late. No matter what your age, no matter where you are, no matter your physical condition, it's not too late. You can do it. So again, I want you guys to like and share this video. Hit the subscribe button so you know when I come on. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Hollis205. Like, leave me comments, like the videos there. You have anything to say, leave me a note in the comments here. If you want to know more about the Virtual Millionaires Club and my mentor, Myron Golden, please, by all means, leave me a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But I just want you guys to understand, don't let dysfunctionality become the norm in your life, because it will impact you and the generations after you if you don't make the correction now. Okay? As always, guys, listen, I love you, care about you. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Hollis205, and I will talk to you really soon.